guys. Okay, so what do you need to prepare for? These are going to be messages from Spirit. And then we're going to, this is pretty much taking a little peek into the future energies. Now, tarot for me is about 3 to 6 months out, but I have found in some readings that there will be messages that come through about a longer timeline. So just take how they resonate. For some of you, you may feel like this is something that already happened. That happens as well. So that being said, just keep an open mind here. What do you need to prepare for? So we have 3 piles to choose from, and these top cards are from the Sacred Forest Oracles, and we're going to use those as really what to pick. But for pile 1, you also have the Gilded Tarot, and this is the Toadstools with Growth, number 44. So that will be pile 1. And then pile 2, you have the Enchanted Fern Grotto with Refuge, number 16. And then for you guys, we're going to use the Sacred Bee Tarot, which is this one right here. So that will be pile 2. And then pile 3 is the Eagle Spirit Freedom, the number 13. And then you guys have the Forced Creatures Tarot. I think it's a 2nd edition. Okay, so there'll be a little meditation after the intro. If you want to take a deep breath, and about 10 seconds, you can focus on which pile you feel more drawn to, if it helps. If you're having a hard time with that, for some of you, maybe it's just centered in. I find that I'm like just focused in on 2 piles. Like I look at one and it has my focus, and then I look at the other one and it just pulls me in energetically. There may be more than one message there, or if you want to close your eyes if you're having a hard time and ask for guidance on which pile to pick, and when you open your eyes, go towards the pile that you do feel drawn to in that instant. I find that helps sometimes. So that being said, that will be in a timestamp down below along with the pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and I'll see you at your pile. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the Toadstool Growth, number 44, with the Gilded Tarot, this is going to be a reading. Okay, so let's take a look at this here for a second. What do you need to prepare for, pile 1? Well, I feel like for some of you, you may actually be moving into a different direction as far as how you see or understand yourself and some sort of shadow that you carry. I think that you've had some sort of, possibly some sort of relationship that you are on the very other end of, some sort of breakdown there. It could be any relationship in your life, even a relationship of a career or a place. There's some sort of shadow-like attachment to that you now see or recognize differently, and now you're on the other end of looking back. It's almost like you've even made it past where the dust is now settled, and you can actually turn around and look back. And I'm seeing someone that's literally turning around and looking back at a city or something that there looks like a dust storm in, but you're on the outside of this now at this point. And you're walking down a road and you're turning back and you're looking. You're not turned around, but you're just turned back and you're just looking. And you see it differently now that you're standing on the outside of things. And this is how you are starting to feel about yourself. And you're really doing, or you have done some inner work on reflecting about some things. You feel as if there's almost this understanding that you now have with yourself about parts to yourself that you can look in a different way at. That's a really heavy kind of epiphany, to be honest with you. It's about when you know that there's things within yourself that are yet to be uncovered, and that you can kind of turn those things by understanding that part of yourself and why it's there. When we look at ourselves in the mirror in a very vulnerable and honest way, like we can see what's on the inside on the outside, it's almost like standing in the mirror and having a bunch of different ways that you see yourself or that people have said about you kind of written on you, and you're like looking at it. And I think for most of you, this is more internal, but how everything else has affected it, right? And you're looking at it and you're seeing what words are there. And instead of feeling shameful or misunderstood or hurt or afraid or mad in any kind of way, you're actually reading the words and trying to understand why that's something that's there. Why do you tell yourself that? Why do people say that? What do they mean by that? You know, it's just all these kind of things are just something that are coming to the surface, I feel like, for you. And now the more 3D type reality is that I think that this is going to kind of catapult you into the future in a more successful way. I think that it's going to turn into some kind of steady foundation for you as well. Yeah. Okay. Oh, y'all can't see that. I'm just going to lay it here. I also have, I'm going to pull some of these first. These are the Alice in Wonderland oracles, I hope is the name of these. I cleaned up my cabinet yesterday. I like to, some of the cards I have not been using, I kind of clockwork those, so I pull everything from the back to the front, and I did that yesterday, and these are one of the first ones that popped out, and I thought, oh man, I haven't used those in forever. I'd love to use these, and I thought they would fit really well for this reading. Okay, so pile 1, what does pile 1 need to prepare for now that they're in this place of moving forward with their growth? What do they need to prepare for here? Okay. Saw this like 3 times. This is one of the first, this is the card that was on the back of this. Y'all saw me shuffle. We have number 35. So you have 44 here. So 3, 4, 5. There's been this progress here that you've made up into this change that's going to transpire from the growth that you've had here. Okay. Never jam today. Promises that never come to be. Empty words. Funny, we talked about words being on you. And not living in the now. So there have been things here that you have been possibly, it's almost kind of like, and now we're fixing to go somewhere, guys, that I want y'all to understand. This is about your growth and where you are, and I'm honest about everything, because I think that for you guys, pile 1, you're being especially honest with yourself, and I don't think that these messages are going to trigger you in any kind of way, because you're already at that point of your growth where you're doing this reflection, and you see all these treats here that are around her. Those can look like obsessions, addictions, things that you know aren't good for you, all these different things that are here. These could be some things that you are now kind of, because you've seen this in the reflection of yourself, you're putting those into the 3D, or as far as your body goes. You know, you may even find yourself trying to do healthier things or cutting out some things that you know aren't good for you. Or at least your mind's kind of working in that direction. They keep wanting me to point out blueberries too. I don't know why. I don't know what that means for somebody, but it's like, won't let me get past that. So I have to say it. So promises that never come to be. You could be telling yourself also a lot of these things, like that you're going to do something, but you're not keeping your word to yourself, you know? And you may find that this ties into things that have happened of your past. You know, when we grow up and we have people that tell us that we're not going to accomplish something or we can't do something, if our parents, you know, or whoever around us tells us that, basically it's for a little kid, you would kind of say that makes us feel like we're not good enough. Well, why can't we do that? Because we're not good enough. What's about us that's not good enough? It goes to a deep place as far as an insecurity. And if you find yourself when you get older sabotaging yourself, because it's that little voice that's there in your head telling you you're not going to make it, you're not going to do it, you're not going to accomplish that. It's that little voice that's there, and I think that's one of the things that you've been reflecting on. And why? You know, those things follow us until we acknowledge that they're there and that we can actually remove those things. You know, never jam today. It's like all that stuff is there, but she has her hand on that cupcake. Like, you can move those out of your way. You don't have to be in this forceful place so much. You know, you can actually get yourself away from all this stuff if you have that internal strength. You know, you just tell yourself that that's not true. And you stop breaking promises here to yourself and not living in the now. For some of you, this has to do with being obsessed with past energy, being obsessed with how things were in the past, why things happened in the past, who that person was, all those good memories that you perhaps have with that person. And it's not saying that you can't keep those moving forward. It's just saying that right now you need to be in this present moment in order to make those changes, in order to understand that you've had this attachment here, you know, and knowing that now you know that that's not good for you. It's not good for you to think about that person all the time. It's not good for you to listen to readings about this person all the time. It's not good for you to constantly be holding on to if this person comes around. It's something that you know you need to let go of. Okay. I feel like I stayed on that so long, but I'm just going to leave that one out on the bottom of the deck here, which is 24. So now you have 2, 3, 4, and 5. Use your time well. Make every moment count. This may be something that's been following you, like this understanding you're trying to now make everything count, knowing that time is so relevant. And I know people say time's not relevant, but time is relevant, because if you're trying to detach from something that you know is not good for you, every little bit of time that you spend not doing that thing matters. Not only does it matter in the moment because you're not doing it and you're detaching, but see, the time is detaching itself. It's just like grief. You know, we have to slowly detach ourselves from grief, and grief is our friend that will live with us through our whole entire lives. Those memories, those things will always come to the surface. You just have to be more familiar with the grief itself. Why am I grieving this? Why is this important to me? Why am I so addicted to this thing? You have to be familiar, like a friend, with your grief. So when it surfaces, it doesn't cause you to feel out of control to where you could go towards, again, the obsession or attachment or, junk food. It's here, or treats or sweets. Maybe you have a sweet tooth. Gosh, I know I do. But it's like you're trying to use your time well and make sure that every moment now moving forward counts. And it's funny too, because once we let go of something, well, let me just give you my experience. When I went vegan, it's funny because when you first start to let go of that, it's like hard. It's so hard. especially for me, I'm here in Texas. We have all kinds of stuff we eat down here in the South. But all that comfort food and stuff, everything is so not vegan. And, or at least where I'm at. And it's hard to not want that kind of stuff. You've been eating it your whole life. But once you start to detach from it and you start to find a groove of things, you know, you start to get in that. It's necessary to go into a certain kind of pattern when you're detaching, because you have to put yourself into a new pattern. And you have to understand that pattern before you can start to feel more free, right? And I had to do that, you know, get into a pattern. And I was eating like the same thing, you know, pretty much every day. And then I started to venture off into other things. I just had to tell myself, you have to have this every single time. And then once you get way far down the line, you're like, you know what? I don't even want to. And one reason is because I've spent all this time working this hard to get to this point. I don't want to go backwards. And sometimes that's all your mind needs to keep moving forward. Okay. I spent a lot of time on y'all's oracles, but so how do they prepare moving forward? Let's get to that. What do they need to prepare for coming forward? Prepare for the sun. Well, I'd like to just close this reading right here if that's the case. This could have to do with enlightenment as well, though. You have some Leo energy. But the sun is the happiest card in the deck, right? The sun is about that new beginning and that success that you could have and that enlightenment, and you feel really good. You feel like you understand things. You know, you feel like you're headed in a really good direction. What else? Like you can see the end of things, right? Like I said in the beginning, you know, you're looking back and you know you have to keep moving forward. So your feet are in the forward direction, but you're looking back just so that you know where you've come from or where you've been, knowing that you don't want to go back to that place, right? But you can also see where this could take you here. We have the Hierophant and it's Taurus energy. And this has to do with this enlightenment that you now have. And now you're implementing that into the lesson so that you can continue to grow and move forward. Okay? So now you have this enlightenment. Now you've been enlightened to this. Now it's time to structure it, put it into the works. It's kind of like what I talked about with that pattern. You have the Magician. So this is a big deal. You know, some of y'all have came a very long ways of having this epiphany or a reality check. And you have this here, the Magician here. So that's Gemini and Virgo energies. And now you're ready to manifest moving forward. With this new knowledge, with this new understanding, with this new growth, let's start manifesting what it is that you want. The High Priestess. Hello, Major Arcana. Isn't that crazy? What do you need to prepare for it? I mean, I kind of knew that we were going to get some heavy hitters here. You have the High Priestess, so that's Pisces energy. So this has to do with you manifesting and listening to your intuition now moving forward about what it is that you feel like. For first off, you know internally is good for you and not good for you. And putting that into reality, moving forward, taking care of yourself mentally. You know, this is in the mental space. This is in the subconscious that's here as well. And you have a new understanding, which you also have a new understanding of how that works, how that affects you in your day-to-day. The things that you aren't in your forefront of your mind, that voice that you're talking to yourself with, but the one that's in the very, very back, the one that comes out sometimes in your dreams, or you may be sitting there and all of a sudden you feel like you're staring off into the distance. That place that's there is something that you now know is there. And you're starting to build a relationship with it where you know the forefront of your mind is not the only part to yourself, but there's other things that are hidden back there. So it's like saying, why am I not walking right today? And then there being something wrong with your ankle, you know, and just realizing that. It's this kind of connection that you're developing that's putting you into a heavy manifestation energy. The more and more we understand ourselves, the more and more we're capable of manifesting our futures, because we know how we work. And all you have to do is know how something works to get it to go in the direction that you want. Right? So tell me about the sun. Clarify that. Judgment. Wow. This is a heavy epiphany here. This is awesome. We have Scorpio energy here. This is like, I like to call this card, especially with this sun energy here, this is like a whole baptism for you guys of understanding yourself. It's like, let's just wipe this clean. Let's do better. Let's just start over. Now I know, I've had this epiphany that, and it goes back to what I said as well about that judgment from yourself or judgment from others. With this right here, with promises that you never keep. You having this awareness that this has been something that you need to do for yourself, even if it's not a promise that you've kept, or it's just you've known inside that something that is going on with you is something that you know is not right or not good for you. And it's facing that judgment of that, Like, yes, I've been doing this and it's my fault. Yes, I've been doing this and I know that I've needed to cut that out. Yes, I know I keep doing this to myself. It's this just epiphany, which leads to success. That's the start, right? You have to understand what it is before you can change it. So let's see about that. What do you need to prepare for? What do you need to prepare for? If you haven't come into this epiphany yet, you will. But this awareness is going to lead to your success. Yeah, you have an Ace of Wands in reverse. For some of you, this has to do with self-sabotage. Yeah, I mean, it is self-sabotage. You've been sabotaging yourself here with whatever this is. For some of you, this could have to do with some kind of, this obviously is not going to be everybody's message, but for some of you, this may have to do with some kind of sexual behavior in some kind of way. Like, I'm just going to leave that to you guys, but that's something that I'm feeling here. Did y'all see the way my candle did that? What was that about? The other thing here is that, the Ace of Wands is fire. It's that fire of wanting to move into a direction it's something that you feel really, really good. It's something that makes you feel really, really good. And when it's in reverse, it's something that's makes you feel really, really good, but it's something that's not great for you, right? It's not going to take you anywhere. It's not upright. It's not an Ace of Wands upright. It's not going to push you in a direction. It's going to push you backwards, push you down. And this is I feel like judgment. You've been sabotaging yourself here. Okay, so the Hierophant, the Nine of Swords. This is pretty much how you need to now straighten out your own fears, anxieties, stress, how you can control that from the inside and don't let that control you. This is now where you're setting in of now, okay, now that I have this awareness here, I have this epiphany about myself, now I need to put this into the work so that it's not hurting me in any kind of way. Because the Nine of Swords is very much a card of, something that's hurting yourself. And you struggle and you don't know how to get out of that space. It can look in the way of someone that is really worried about something just all the time, and they let it just eat away at their present moment, at their everyday, and it keeps them stuck. But it's also about having this epiphany, and what you need to prepare for is that now coming to grips with this and understanding that this is a lesson in itself, and you want to kind of complete this cycle and move forward. You have these nines here. You're going to go through this period of anxiety. For some of you, this might have to do with, actually, with this Hierophant, it can look in the way of a higher authority, or some kind of higher structure in some kind of way. For some of you, this might have to do with like legal things or school things, or anything that you have to accomplish to get through this Nine of Swords. So this can even be of seeing getting higher help, you know, maybe a therapist here, or something like that, or you need to go to someone here. This could even be looking in the way of a bank, you know. Just everybody's situation is going to be a little bit different, but you're going to go through this period of kind of being anxious about that. So then the Magician here, but you can't get to the Magician here. You can't have what it is that you're wanting to manifest play out until you get past that Hierophant there. This is like you've learned this from the inside. Now it's time to take that action on the outside. Tell me about the Magician. The Moon. You have, I feel like this is saying that what you need to prepare for here, for some of you, is the fears that are going to come up when it comes to moving in this direction of what it is that you want. So a lot of you, this has to do with feeling, again, like maybe you're not good enough, or you don't have what it is that you need, but not allowing, and this is how you prepare for this, guys, not allowing this fear to take over. This could have to do with the things that you're telling yourself, that self-sabotage. You know, that fear is the doorway to that. Is the doorway to the end of that. That fear can just screw everything up. You know, and you have fear here, you have fear here. But if you know that it's fear, you know, and it's not, I think for some of you, this might have to do with understanding fear and intuition. So let's see, the High Priestess. You have Pisces, Cancer energy down here. Why is the High Priestess here? Clarify. The Seven of Cups in reverse. Don't get overwhelmed by the choices here. For some of you, this is getting out of the fantasy. This is part of it as well. I feel like for some of you, this is indicating not to put too high of expectations on yourself. Because if you put like an unrealistic thing out there of what it is that you can accomplish, you can be really hard on yourself when you don't meet that expectation. And this again stems from possibly for some of you something growing up where you had somebody that put these super high expectations on you, and something that you never could meet. So you always felt like you're not good enough, because if they set the bar so high, you have nowhere to grow. There's no growth there. It will just keep you stuck. I mean, it's like going in and taking a test that you were never prepared for. You know, there's no way I can ace this. I've never even studied for this. It's that kind of feeling that's there. So sorry, guys. My kids both just barged in here. Just completely barged in here. I'm like, yeah? You know, that's so funny with kids. They don't knock or anything. You may have actually grown up with someone that just didn't understand how to be a parent. You may have grown up with someone that either they had this happen to them, they had high expectations on them, whether that was self-imposed or just maybe a situation that they were in where they felt like they had to be stronger than what they were capable of in some kind of way. It can make you, as far as your own children go, set the bar really high because you want what's best for them, but yet it ends up kind of backfiring. You know, that you have to have balance. So if you set that bar so far up there and you don't give them that amount of time to grow, this is what happens. Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry about my kids. And now you can hear them back there. I know they normally are at their dad's today, but they wanted to come home tonight, and I knew I was gonna have to work in the morning. You know. Okay. Let me think about what I was talking about there, because I was in deep thought here. Some of you, that's not going to resonate as far as your childhood, you know, upbringing and that kind of way goes. But for some of you, it will. It depends on how you're intuitively kind of picking up on this reading, what you're getting from it, you know. But I do feel like that you also, one thing is that, you know, we talked about your subconscious and there being other things there, other reasonings there. It's like you're having to go to that place to realize that you aren't to blame, as far as, like, there's other reasons behind why you do certain things. You know, instead of telling yourself, why do I always mess up? Why do I never get it right? You know, why am I always sabotaging that? It's like you're really starting to read and understand why that is, so that you can use that moving forward. And that's what they're saying here, is knowing that the decisions that you're making and knowing sure that those are the ones that you need to make for yourself, not choosing to buy into these cravings or fantasy or anything here. Knowing this about yourself is going to be extremely important going into this next phase here. And I think that you're going to need to prepare for I feel like for some of you are going to come into trying to do something new, or having some kind of new idea that comes into play that you're going to need to structure, but you're going to go through this process of learning how to trust yourself here. And again, not allow any kind of insecurities, fear, anxieties, anything like that sabotage the situation, because now you know that is why you've been doing that in the first place. So now it's just like, you know, putting that into effect. So you're going to be facing some stuff here, guys, but they're saying to stay true and keep retelling yourself the epiphany that you have. What can they expect in the future here? What can they expect in the future with this? Can you give me some more information and more detail about it? With Judgment here. Actually, I don't need one for that. Can you just give me one for the Nine of Swords? The Three of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah. Not keeping the commitments that you promised. You already, for some of you, may have anxieties about that. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep this promise. For some of you, this is being afraid that someone's not going to commit to you, or someone's not going to work with you on something, or something's not going to work out, or you're not going to get that job, or you're not going to get that relationship, or it's not going to come together in the way that you want it to. So, of course, these are things that are naturally going to come up, but they're saying here with this Hierophant, it's just remember what you've learned. Okay. Keep kind of telling yourself that. You have to structure these anxieties when they come up. Why am I anxious? Where exactly is that coming from? And bring yourself back to, again, the growth that you've had and how you want to use your time well here. Okay? The Moon, please, with the Magician. The Moon, please, with the Magician. The Page of Pentacles. Yep, there's that new start. This is that lesson as well. It's telling you to use this lesson. You have this information, and know that it's a work in progress here as well. And to not let your ego, your pride kind of eat away at you if these fears do come up. Use all the tools that you know that you have here with that Magician to straighten that out moving forward. For some of you, this may be someone that comes to you with some sort of offer. Oh, King of Wands just popped up, guys, when I said that. This could be someone that, for some of you, this could pertain to love for some of you, so keep that in mind. But this is Aries energy for me. It could be Leo, Sagittarius here, and then this Page of Pentacles. So this King of Wands, I feel like, is bringing you a Page of Pentacles. So whatever this is, it's someone that has this fire, right? This could be an entrepreneur. This could be it's just this fire and this drive and this desire to want to take action, okay? Take action. And for some of you, this may be you taking action here. It could be to offer someone something, or, I mean, sometimes the Page of Pentacles can be a apology, I feel like, but for me, I get that more with the Page of Cups. The Page of Pentacles is more of an honest, business-like compromise. You know what I mean? It's not as, there's not as much of emotion that's in that. I mean, I can see this as not wanting to sabotage a situation or allow fears to get the best of things. Because if you put the moon on the Magician, it could look like you manifesting your fear, right? Manifesting your biggest fear. And for some of you, this is about you taking action towards something, you know, you or someone coming towards you in this way, wanting to take action towards you, wanting to offer you something. And if you have anxieties here about it not coming together, this person it not working out, or this person not wanting to work with you, or you not getting that commitment, then it's going to attach itself here with the moon. And this is what is going to manifest, and that leads back to that self-sabotage, okay? So I think part of this is them wanting you to be in a place to where you acknowledge that you have this strength and this power here to use now what you know and move forward in a different direction. So let's find out what the Seven of Cups is. For some of you, this could be someone coming towards you, wanting to offer you something, and needing to listen to your intuition here on this, but knowing what that is based off of what you now know is how fear has caused some kind of fantasy or creation here that made you where you made not great choices or something like this is taking effect. Some of you feel like this is, with the Seven of Cups in reverse, it's like there's no ands, if, or buts about it. You know this is the right thing that you need to be doing. Tell me about these Seven of Cups, please, as far as them preparing for. What do they need to prepare for? The Ten of Wands in reverse, radical change. This is, guys, this is going to be you releasing something really, really heavy. Really, really heavy. Something you've been holding on to. And you have the moon and the sun here as well, which is, like I said in this card, shining light on the shadow, okay? So something may come out into the open. This has been a lot here, I feel like, for you. You may have been very overwhelmed as well about what choice to make or how to make it or what to do. Or this is something that you're going to be facing, but you also know that you need to release this. Like, you've carried this long enough. It's time to, you know, internally you need to release this. And there is no other option or choice here. Give me some more about that. The Lovers. For some of you, this is something that has been with you for a very long time. For some of you, this has to do with a relationship. And detaching here from someone, or someone not choosing you, or a reasoning behind that, an understanding behind that. This can also look in the way of someone that you feel like they may never be coming forward, or you may never get this offer here from this person and you need to let this go. And the fantasy that you've created around that, or obsession you've created around that. For some of you, this is just what it is that you've been sticking to, like a certain way of thinking. And knowing that you need to separate yourself from that. This is not choosing this. Has been some sort of a not choosing what's best, or not choosing what you want here. In some way, or choosing what the best thing is for you. In some kind of way, this has created a heavy burden, and it's something that you want to let go of. It has to do with choices. what you've been choosing here. However that fits for you guys. What can they expect out of this? Gemini energy's there as well. What can they expect out of this? They need to prepare for this, but what can they expect out of this? The Empress in reverse. Oh. For some of you, this may rattle you quite a bit here. The Queen of Wands in reverse. King and Queen out. Not seeing eye to eye. This could be someone that you're recognizing you may not be able to have any kind of growth here. For some of you, this is someone that has turned you down, or that you feel like they're not recognizing you in your power. You know, they're not recognizing your value here in some kind of way. Or this could be someone that at some point you looked up to, but for some of you may have let this person down. I feel like this is something that's not going to feel good though. The strength, that you're going to have strength here. You're going to have patience and strength, because I feel like you already have this inner knowing that this person may turn you away, but it's just like you need to do it anyways. This is like, I may fail here. This may not grow into what I want. I'm not fully confident in it, but I need to have strength. I need to have patience with myself, and I need to try. This is this energy. For some of you, this has to do with someone not seeing how to grow something, not seeing something as being strong enough to grow in some kind of way. Look at that, Queen of Cups in the reverse. The Empress, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Cups. That's interesting. For some of you, this is three very strong individuals around you, three attachments that you have here to someone. One of these could be a mother, with the Empress being here. So everybody else has something to say, but I want to follow my own way of seeing things or doing things. For some of you, this may have to do with if there's been someone else here that has been involved in a relationship that has caused some kind of lack of growth. Or if there's been someone here that's just been holding back and needing to have strength here and do what you feel like's best. But really, guys, for some of you, this is about holding your emotions back. I'm going to be honest. I feel like for some of you, someone's going to come towards you that you have been anticipating, or you have this inner knowing that this is going to happen. Whatever this is, I feel like you've had this inner knowing that this is going to happen. And you've been needing to kind of try to get a straight head about this if it does happen. And I feel like it is going to. I feel like it's coming towards you. Now, it's going to be a burden that needs to be released. This person may release this burden of this relationship and what has transpired here, or just the relationship itself on you in some kind of way, because the two of you aren't seeing eye to eye, or you didn't at some point. And there's this idea that you need to be strong here and hold back emotionally if you don't feel confident that it's something that's going to grow. Okay. And I guess, that just may not have to do with love. It could be with anything. Let's see what the Lovers is in reverse. Okay. Page of Wands. This could be someone that is sending you some sort of message here about a relationship with you. and needing to unload about that. Possibly not making the best choice here in the past. Like this is someone that's saying, if this is someone that's coming towards you that chose someone else over you, this is just something that you already know. Like you already know whatever's fixing to come to the surface. This is why you've went through this growth in the first place. You know, Spirit kind of set you up in this place of strength so you know how to handle this. There's a lot of different, Four of Swords. If you've been feeling very alone or isolated, or you just feel like you've been in this resting period, or this period where nothing's transpiring or taking place, I think that it's because Spirit's placed you into this. Use your time well in Four of Swords so that you could get to a very good place as far as understanding yourself and having this strength here. You've experienced a lesson when it comes to strength, and strength over the moon, strength over your shadows, your fears, your anxieties, your illusions, your doubts here, strength over that, and knowing and understanding your own intuition and your own self, and making the best choice for yourself moving forward when it comes to how you feel emotionally and how confident you feel in the growth of that situation as being something that's good for you. Taking care of yourself. Okay. I'm going to get a couple more things. I'm going to get some of these because they match my other cards and I want to use them. Really, but let's just see if we can see what else they can say about what's coming towards you here. I'm sorry, my dogs are just barking and barking and barking and barking. Wait, that's not my dog. That's the neighbor's dog. My poor dogs are like, no, we're not. Okay. What else can you expect coming towards you? The cosmos, this is a divine plan aligned with the universe here. This is meant to happen in this way. This is also helping you to become more in tune with your more divine side to yourself, of your purpose and your understanding of things. Like I said, within yourself, blessed union. For some of you, this is coming back together here with someone. You do have the counterparts out. Meant to be together, love that transforms, divine mission together. You and this person may have some kind of mission to play out together where you're coming back together for this reason, but you're needing to be strong here with how you approach this situation, because you do have free will. And I really feel like for some of you, this may have something to do with a third party being around or here. But only take that if it resonates. And I feel like you would know because it's something that you already internally have picked up on. It's like you're not in the illusion of things anymore. You know what happened, or you know that they had someone else, or they chose someone else or something, okay? Not everybody's story, but it's something that's there. So there's a divine plan, a higher plan. For some of you, this is knowing that someone is not meant for you and understanding that so that you can have that person that is meant for you, that you're supposed to have that divine union with, come towards you, with that manifestation energy there. It's like looking at a situation and going, now I understand why that happened, and seeing the good part of it and where you are now, and now you know for sure what it is that you want. You can bring that in. What's coming towards them? Yeah, look at this. As I say that, and look at the card that's on the bottom. The clock is slow. Slow progress will take some time, not the right timing. Yeah. Knowing that it hasn't been, I feel like, is also important. Hasn't been the right time for you. Cool peppermint. And this could be someone else that's here as well, saying, it's not good timing for that person as well. But you have cool peppermint here. This is a refreshing new energy. Interesting and stimulating, pleasantly different from your usual type. So, strangely, lonely was off to the side. I'm going to take it because it says a journey alone. You may have had to went through, I mean, this is someone that's either needing to go through this journey alone, process alone, or have had to, or this is your energy. It's saying you're going to have this understanding of why you needed to go through this alone and why you needed to spend this time here on this growth and going through this, because now you know what decision to make. Yeah. And there's a plan behind this, because you're in a different energy. You're going to approach the situation differently. Okay. Unhealthy choices. It's at the bottom of the deck. So this is going back to, and how interesting. Hey, you have, well, I don't want to pick it up. I'll mess it up. You have all the treats here, and she actually has a thing of donuts behind her here. Bad eating habits. Focus on your health. Careful who and what you let in. I think that is this whole reading for you guys. And these are these different scenarios that I was talking about. And for some of you, it may be all of them. But it's about, for some of you, it's bad habits that you've had that have been detrimental to your own well-being or health that you've been coming into this realization of. For some of you, it's about just focusing on your health and getting into a good routine and plan so that you can feel better, you know. For some of you, this is about be careful, more careful of your heart and who it is that you allow into your heart space, and understanding what's good for you and what's not, so that you can bring in this fresh new energy. And for some of you, you may have to approach or deal with someone that could be coming back around or coming into play if it hasn't happened yet, so that you can understand why something didn't work out. It's almost like, or how, you know, it's like when someone comes back around perhaps and you think that things are going to change, or you think that that person has changed or something like that. And now being able, you have this fresh new energy of looking, the way you're looking at it is going to be completely different. The way you're looking at this person or this situation or this thing or this understanding or this epiphany, all of it's going to change because you've changed internally, growth-wise. So you're looking at it in a more mature perspective, which makes me want to bring a postcard out because there is a card that says that. Unfinished business just kind of popped up there when I pulled this deck out. So you may, when I was just talking about this as well, so you may have felt like you've had some unfinished business here where you've been back and forth, or some kind of patterns or baggage, whatever that means to you guys. And this is fixing to straighten itself out. I cannot believe we didn't see justice. But you know what? Justice hasn't been served yet. Because this is the process. This is what you're preparing for. This is what you're going through. And for some of you, this is union, someone that's coming back into play. And now it's a fresher new energy, and now you know what's best for you, what's not good for you. What are you going to choose based off of what this person's bringing you? And only y'all are going to know that and understand if this person is bringing you what it is that you need or want or deserve, or are they not, you know? Okay, what is it? 2 cards came out together. I'm going to read both of them, so if you don't want to listen to these, skip down. We're going to get some initials here in a minute, but I love these cards. You are divine beauty. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Dearest you, we have a secret to share for you. If you act like all is well, it will be. Act as if you are brave. There's that strength. And you will have the courage. Act as if you are loved, and you will be a magnet for love and experience the love of spirit. Act as if your prayers have been answered, as if you're truly in sync with good fortune. How you think is how you will see the world, interact with it, and draw conclusions from it. If you want to be the person who has the life that you want, co-creating and loving what's yours, you need to start acting as if that were the truth. Don't worry about the conditions in your life that seem empty or cancerous, chaotic or barren. These are temporary and don't even count. define them, and act as if that you're the luckiest person on the planet. You will be, for you already are. That's the real secret. You are infinite potential. Loving you so much, rainbows explode in the ether. Okay, guys, so that whole manifestation and everything's coming into play now with this. And being able to know that you have the power to create what it is that you want. Understanding that. Everybody has that power. But you have to understand yourself, like I said, to know how you work before you can figure out what it is that you want moving forward. We're all different in that. And we all want different things. With love. Dear you, sometimes you just feel like no one understands you. You're not heard, or even that you don't count. This, my dear, is a terrible illusion. And although your feelings tell you that abandonment is real, well, we who love you know better. You are never alone, and even when rejection happens, you are ultimately being protected so better things can replace what wouldn't have worked out in the first place. And this is what I was talking about all over here. Everyone on this side of the veil is watching over you and rooting for your ultimate success. Life loves you and we love you. And you are a unique spark of the divine and always connected to the light and to source. You're always in our care. Trust and keep the faith. Love you always and forever. Yep. For some of you, doubt with that Nine of Swords, that doubt has been creeping in there on you from time to time. So I think that was a reminder from Spirit that you are a light and you're connected to source and you can create. And know that when rejection happens, that you're ultimately being protected so that better things can be replaced for what wouldn't have worked out in the first place. And that's one of my most favorite sayings. Okay, is it true? Go within. Yeah, the truth is within you. What it is that you feel like is the truth is how you're going to be in the present moment. So if you feel like that you're meant for more, then you will be. If you feel it, you have to feel it. See, manifestation isn't just about a thought. It's the head and the heart connected. You have to feel it. What you want in your head, what you're thinking, what you should do, what you can do. All these things, all these ideas, everything. But you have to feel it too, that desire. Knowing what that would feel like, how good it's going to feel, right? Life changes when your perspective changes. Life changes oh my God, I can't read. Life changes when the way you perceive things changes. And then on the other side, it says changing your perspective. We're going to do that again. Changing your perception changes your life. My God. I mean, we just ended retrograde, but it's still fading out. So give me a break. Now you have a flip side of this too. And I think that that's part of what all this is kind of pertaining to, the flip side of things. Seeing the flip side of things is important. Not just seeing the unfinished things, it's like opening a book and getting halfway through the story and then having to close the book and not being able to ever know how it finished or how it was going to happen, but knowing that, you know what, it might have not even been a good book anyways. Did I want to spend all my time on something, if it wasn't even going to work out anyways? It's that kind of feeling. Looking at the flip side. Master of frequency or victim of circumstance, your choice. Yep. There's this heavy emphasis with Spirit wanting you to manifest something in this time. So you're in that energy, guys. And I have no idea how long this reading was because my kids interrupted me a couple of times. So hopefully it wasn't too long. Y'all got some good ones. We have 4, which we started with. You have the 44. So you maybe been seeing 444, perhaps, which is a number of protection. It's also about stability in things, right? Finding a sense of security within yourself, and not looking for that outside of yourself here. You have the 2 hearts, so there's someone here that you, for some of you, may be very connected to or connected with. I'm sorry, my kids are just yelling. I don't know what the heck. It's boys for you, man. I told them, little girls, do they yell like that? I mean, y'all let me know. I don't have little girls, just have little boys. I told them, y'all just, whatever you do, is just don't yell, okay? It's one thing they're doing. You have the 2 fish here that go back and forth. With those 2 hearts, I mean, this is about, it could be about having a heart-to-heart. You know, the fish are like the water, the emotions. So some of you may get that heart-to-heart conversation, or this can also represent finding someone here, a fresh new energy that you really, really connect with on an emotional level. I just feel this going back and forth. This reminds me of Pisces as well. Yeah. Which is about what it is that you believe in is going to be true, right? That High Priestess energy. So you have the lightning bug, so there's definitely some light coming your way, okay? Some kind of that sun energy, some kind of truth, some kind of clarity, epiphany, light here that's going to come your way, and I feel like you're going to come out of this in a really great way. You just have to remember how strong you are. You have to have this strength and patience with yourself. You have the horseshoe here with the star in it, so that's about good luck, and luck is on your side. You have the battery here, so you may be feeling like this card is kind of like, you know, when you get to the end of something, let's just say you're running a marathon, you start to get to the end of it, and that's when you're at your most tired point, right? Because you've been through this whole thing. And this is maybe the energy that you're in at this moment. They're saying, like, you know, we know that it's hard at this point, but you have made it all the way to 9. Because we saw all those 9s. Don't give up now on yourself. You may be feeling like your battery needs to be recharged, but it's fixing to be, okay? So they're saying, just hang in there. Just hang in there. You can do this. Okay. We have B, J, L, I, C, H, D, and O. Okay. You can almost spell one thing. I'm not going to say what that is. I'll let y'all have fun with that. I can almost spell choice. And we have this card here. I don't know why I just heard what would Jesus do, but you have JD here. So I guess maybe that's why. It's funny. I haven't heard that in a while. Yeah, I mean, I might just not be seeing it, but I just don't see anything. So maybe these are just some initials that you need to take with you. We have job here, J-O-B. So for some of you, this has to do with changing a job or getting a job or finding... Oh, child is here. Wow. Job and child. Maybe this has to do with separating yourself here or moving in a different location. Or maybe you feel like it's your job to take care of your inner child, you know. That's pretty awesome. I don't think I haven't been able to spell whole 2 things out of, something out of the words like that in a while. Okay, so that was kind of crazy, but I'm gonna leave you guys here. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your love and support. I appreciate you guys, and some of you, I have to say this now with that child thing. Maybe that was my indicator from Spirit. That Empress energy. For some of you, this has to do with it's not your job to be the parent. Your job is to be the child. Yeah, and for some of you, you may have been put in that place. For some of you, this has to do with having a job and a child that needs to be into consideration. And for some of you, this has to do with maybe you're having a child, yeah, and you're needing to figure out how to take care of that child or what you need to do for that child. So I'm gonna leave that here with you guys. Take what resonates. You'll know whatever story you are at, and I'm gonna leave here. So thanks, guys, for being here. I hope this helps. Sorry if this is super long, but I have no idea how long it is. So y'all got maybe a long one. But thanks, guys, for all your love and all your support and all your kindness. I sure hope this helps. Sending you love and light, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, Pal 2. So if you chose the Enchanted Fern Grotto, which is Refuge here with the number 16, and then you also have the Sacred Bee Tarot that we're going to use. So I'm going to read this a little bit intuitively, and to be honest with you guys, I've already tried to start your reading several times, and I keep getting interrupted. And actually, I filmed a good bit of it and then realized that because I had to stop and start so many times that it wasn't even filming the last time. So I went through like almost a whole entire spread, and it wasn't filming. So interesting when that happens. I feel like maybe this has been something that you've been experiencing here. You may have been experiencing like a lot of things where you feel like things are going in your direction, they're going well, and then all of a sudden it doesn't turn out, it doesn't go well, it doesn't happen. I do feel like for a lot of you, there's something to do with you been wanting some kind of relief. You've been wanting some sort of refuge in something, some sort of, you've needed some significant change, some kind of just tower moment to come in and shift things or change things around. But you feel as if there's something that you desire or want that is so unobtainable in the same way. I think there's a lot to do with you needing to find some purpose or some structure or some security in where you are, understanding that maybe you've needed to experience this, or you've needed to have this wherever you are happen so that it's like you needed to be, or understanding, knowing that you needed to be where you are because there was a lesson in some way behind that caused some sort of maturity in you to how you want to move forward or proceed forward. It's like needing to find purpose for where you are, so that, because there's nothing else that you can't change it. So if you keep hitting that door, it's that understanding of, if the door's not opening, then there's a reason for it, and maybe you're just meant to be where you are for a reason that it's out of your control or you just can't see. Let me give you a backstory on that, what I mean. When I was growing up, I always worked for my grandparents, and my grandpa passed away, and my mom had passed away, and my grandma was alone with the business, and my sister was already gone off to college, and I was the only one that was left there, and my grandparents only had one child, my mom, who they adopted, and so it was just me and her. And my family, my immediate family that was here, that we were just everyday close, right? Well, when I got married out of school, I thought about moving, but because I kind of wanted to get out of the town I'm in, and my grandma started to get really sick. So that was kind of out of the question for me because I didn't want to leave her here. Of course she had her sisters and her niece that were helping take care of her, but still, I just needed to be here. And I worked with her, and I struggled back and forth with what I was doing with my life, and that I guess that I finally decided this is just where I'm just meant to be right now. And in my head, I rationalized that with maybe there's something here that I need to be learning because, maybe I need to take over things eventually one day, or maybe there's just something here that I'm needing to understand. Then my grandma passed away about 2 years after that. And I realized that I got so much precious time with her. And that was actually the most important thing. So even though I was struggling with having to be where I was, or needing to be where I was, or I felt pressure of that, it was understanding the purpose behind it, you know? It was way different from where my mind was. And of course, I love spending time with my Mimi, but I was there, 9 to 5 every day, and I was young, and there was other things that I felt like I wanted to pursue, Yeah, there's a lot of emotions that went into that. I think this is similar to what you're experiencing now, but you have this now understanding of what you feel like. Even if you don't have the understanding, you just feel like that, that, God has you in the right place, or, whoever it is that you believe in, that you're meant to be where you are. Okay, so let's see if we can get some oracles here from the Alice in Wonderland oracles to tell us more about how to prepare for what's coming towards you. And I do feel like that there's some significant relief or offer of relief coming towards you that's going to just change things up, okay? Growing up, yeah, this is that maturity part, everything that I just got to talk about. And you have 16 to 17 here, which is growing up. That's pretty crazy, guys. Wanting to grow and experience rejection of okay, slow down. Perpetual youth. Goodness. I feel like you may have a close companion here for some of you, or this may be something that comes into your life in the near future, a close companion. This can be an animal for some of you. That's something that this is a side message, I feel, and it's so awesome. It's something that has crossed your mind, it was just like a fleeting thought because you knew that it's just not possible for you, but it's something that you desired. This is like this little nugget or gift from Spirit that's going to be a lot of a bigger thing than what you realize, especially a companion like an animal. They provide for us. They're like the little angels of the world. They provide for us relief from anxiety and stress. And for some of you, this could be what it is, but I do feel like there's something bigger coming in. This is just a part of it. It's like that feeling of, well, now I can finally get that dog I've always wanted. That kind of feeling. Yeah, it's that feeling of that. And it's just like a side thing from a bigger thing that's coming in. It says wanting to grow and experience rejection of perpetual youth. I think that this is coming in I feel like a tower moment's coming towards you guys. But I feel like it's a good tower moment, okay? It's a tower of relief. It's instead of that tower coming down, it's more like you have somewhere to now go. It's this kind of feeling. You also have nonsense, number 28. It's time to talk sense. Yeah. This is something that I feel like is going to make sense to you. You may have had some kind of desire or dream, again, that you may have felt like, not something small like a companion, but something bigger that you felt like was what you desired. But now it's like it's kind of gotten smaller and smaller and smaller. It's like that unicorn in that globe there that she's holding. It used to be a full-grown unicorn, but now it's the size of, the palm of her hand. And it could be just something that you really, a goal that you had set for yourself, or an expectation that you had placed on yourself that you feel like it's just gotten further and further away, and no one understanding when you need to let that go, or when that doesn't make sense to you anymore. That's something that's there. And this could be part of growing up as well, our expectations of ourselves and the things that we can accomplish when we first start out in the world, out of, growing up, becoming 18, when that kind of hits you, life kind of hits you in a different way, and you start to kind of more more so see what makes sense instead of what's just way beyond, right? I do feel like that you may have felt like you've been in a dreamy space, or there's been someone around you, I feel like, that's been detrimental to this as well, where they've kind of destroyed your dream here in some sense, or this is something that you've felt like this person was maybe keeping you stuck a little bit. And it's time for that person to understand that even if you love and care about them, that it just makes sense for you to move forward with nonsense. Because this is the number 28. 2 is about making decisions, and 8 is about progress, moving forward, moving on. Together you have 10, which is the ending of a cycle. So I feel like for some of you, it could be someone here that she's holding the Queen of Hearts. So it's like, I love you, but it's funny too, because the story with Alice, obviously her and the Queen are not getting along. She's holding the Queen of Hearts, but she's almost like against her will, and that's what she does in the story. She does what she needs to do to survive in that situation. And you may have been feeling that, doing what you need to do in order to kind of just, like I said, I think I said that in the beginning, just to survive or make sense. Y'all have 6, 7, 8 here as well. And I do feel like that you're trying to figure out if you're on the right path and making decisions now moving forward based off of what it is that you need to do for yourself. But this opportunity of refuge is coming. You're going to get this opportunity, this chance. I feel like for some of you, this is you've grown up here and taking up for yourself with this no nonsense. You're not allowing, that Queen or anyone to come in the way of what it is that you know that you need to do for yourself here, what you want to do. Oh, I was going to look at the bottom of the deck as well. I'll do that real quick before I get the tarot out. Never jam today. This came out in pile 1, number 35. So there's your 5, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you have 1, 2, and 3. We just need that 4, which is that stability that we're talked about here with all that green and that forest. So expanding and changing. This is something that's going to, this is where I think you are at this point, but I think that this is what's going to happen here, is that you know that this is a decision that you need to make for your growth, and you know that this is a direction that you need to take. This promises that never come to be, empty words, not living in now. There could be someone here, again, I keep going back to this, that has been telling you maybe perhaps what is for your own good in some kind of way, or that there's something to do. This person may have been promising you certain things, like things may change or things may get better, or that has gone empty, like it's never come to fruition. This is someone that you looked up to or you believed in some kind of way. But it's interesting though, because you have this growing up, and then you have not living in the now. I feel like you're needing to be in the present moment in order to make this decision to move forward. It's like getting out of what you think it's also somebody covering up some stuff. I'm going to be honest, there's an energy here that I'm not comfortable with. It's this Queen giving me the eye here. There's an energy here. I don't like this feeling that I'm feeling with this energy. You see all the cakes and stuff around her. It's like someone giving you all of that, It's like someone telling you that you don't need to move forward. You don't need to go over there. You don't need to do that. Stay right here. You have everything you need right here. You have stability, you have structure, you have everything you need right here. You don't need to go in that direction. I am feeling this like heaviness of that. So for some of you, that's your story. For some of you, it's not. Take it or leave it. This is something I feel like you're breaking yourself free from, though. I can tell you that. No nonsense and never jam today. You could have felt like before you just had empty words from others, and this is now understanding that you're the one that needs to do the action for yourself. So maybe you have been asking others for help and they don't stick to their word, or they don't stick to their promise, and you're understanding those are empty words, and you've had some resentments for people around you. But now sitting in this place, you're understanding that, oh, well, I need to grow up and make this decision for myself, or I need to stand up for myself, even. Okay. Tell me more. What do they need to prepare for? Let's see what this is about, this opportunity coming in. This is what you're putting behind or dealing with. So what's this opportunity coming in? Tell me more about this. Pile 2, what do they need to prepare for? You have a 9 of Swords. So this is going to cause some stress here. It says despair, and you have refuge. So this may be where you're sitting at this point. Okay, well, we have all these came out. The 10 of Wands. So there's that weight on your shoulders. There's that responsibility, that growing up and taking responsibility, like I was talking about here. That doesn't mean that you're young. You can be any age, and it's about acknowledging the way that you have affected where you are. What decisions have you made? Even if that's just allowing someone else to make them for you. That's putting your foot down here is what it is. 10 of Wands here. You also have the Moon, Pisces, Cancer energy. You have the King of Wands. I love this King of Wands. And this is it. This is you putting your foot down here. This is you taking control. The King of Wands is an action. He's about going in there, taking action. He's the one that's like leading the battle, right? He's fired up and ready to go because he feels confident he's going to win. His King of Wands can be Aries energy, can also be Sagittarius or Leo. And then you also have the 4 of Wands here in reverse. So for some of you, this has to do with you don't feel at peace with where you are. There's that 4 that we've been looking for. You don't feel at peace with where you are. You don't feel safe or comfortable or good about where you are, and knowing that you need to stand up and take action for yourself here. This is what's going to happen. And the reason that it's happening is because an opportunity is going to come into play. There may be someone here that is going to try to stop you from this. You need to be aware of that for some of you. And you already have this person pinpointed who this is. Maybe a couple of people, to be honest with you. This could be family as well. Not understanding why you're doing something. I said this in a reading the other day, and I think people don't see this as much. It's just an important thing to know. Some people in our lives can keep us stuck where we actually don't want to be because they don't want to feel outside. They don't want to have to be outside their comfort zone if you're not around. If there is a friend or a family member or a spouse or anything that holds you back from your purpose that you want to fulfill, or whatever that is that you're desiring here to go towards, even if that's just peace, and you have someone there that's telling you, like the Queen, nonsense, that it's nonsense, it's because this person could want to keep you right there with them, because if you leave, then they have to be outside of their comfort zone without you. So keep that in mind. For some of you, that could be the case. Tell me about the 9 of Swords here, and what you need to prepare for is putting up with that nonsense, right? Okay. This is somebody that would just tell you nonsense just to keep you stuck. Okay, so let me move these up so y'all can see all these cards. Aren't these awesome? These are some of my most favorite. I love all the colors. Thought they'd be pretty with my lilies. Okay, so you have the Ten of Cups here. So this is, guys, this is something that's coming that's not gonna, you're not gonna be able to resist what this is. This is your Ten of Cups. This is, look at it, literally says sanity on there. This is your sanity. This is your Ten of Cups. This is, you've been in this despair, and then it's like Spirit's like, well, here you go. This is what you've been wanting, but you have to be strong enough to take it. This Ten of Cups could be spiritual and emotional fulfillment here for you. This is a place that you know that you have been wanting for yourself. Yeah, and that Nine of Swords, it's like you never thought that this was going to be possible. You never thought that you would be happy here, or you never thought that this would come together and be harmonious, or that you would have an opportunity for a wish that you've been carrying, right? 10 of Wands, please. There's definitely a closing out of a cycle that I see. Yeah, look at this. 9, 9, 10, 10. This is like you understanding how to close a cycle out here. The 9 of Wands with that 10 of Wands there, 9 of Wands in reverse. It's because, you know, you've already kind of fought the good fight, and now you need to take the responsibility to move forward. You have to go shoot through your fears here with the Moon. I want to see more about that Ten of Cups, but we'll look at it in just a second. Tell me about, I think that King of Wands is going to tell me more about that, to be honest. Tell me about the Moon here, please. The Emperor. There you are. This is about stepping up, being in that Emperor energy, doing what you know you need to do, regardless of that Moon, regardless of, I mean, this is the Emperor going against the Moon here. So this is someone that is standing in their power and their strength against their fear, facing their fear, going to battle with their fear, and feeling very confident. This is, I mean, I feel like you have definitely this right here, whatever this little offer or big offer here that is here, is going to give you the confidence that you needed to break through the fears that are here. Tell me about the King of Wands, please. This is like, I know how overwhelmed I have been where I am. And I know I need to take responsibility for that. Because I have chosen to stay in this position, or I felt like I needed to stay in this position. And both of them are right. You know what I mean? So King of Wands, please. Oh, 2 cards came out. Ooh. Let's talk about this. You may be fixing to go to battle here with the Devil and the Magician. So these can be some, can be some very heavy manipulation energy with the Devil and the Magician, because it's someone that is trying to, again, keep you stuck or keep you using everything that they possibly can that they know or understand about you to keep you attached. The Devil is about that attachment, to make you feel like you're sitting in an opposition here, okay? This is someone that's going to try to do that. But the thing is that you're going to battle here. Look at this line here. I love this picture. You're going to battle here with this. You're going to have to battle against this, okay? I feel like this is that other person with the Magician. This is Gemini, Virgo energy. You have Capricorn here as well. This is, and it could, for some of you, it may not be a person. It could just be this fear, you know, holding you back, illusion holding you back, needing to use that fear to boost you forward, because anything that's worth having, you're going to have some fears attached to it. That's why you have to step into faith, because you know the outcome is going to be so worth it, right? For some of you, you may have felt like you moving in a direction here is like someone else's biggest fear they're having to face. So they're going to use, again, everything they possibly can to keep you going towards what they want you to go towards and not what you're wanting to go towards. And this is what you're going to have to prepare for. Or this may be something that you're just breaking yourself free from, you know? Tell me about that Four of Wands in the reverse. Queen of Wands. So you have a king and queen out here. You're both upright. You could be moving in a relationship here with someone. But I feel like this is more internal. I feel like this is more your internal feminine, masculine energy. You know, and you have to have this Queen of Wands. You have to feel good enough about yourself and that you're capable in order to step into that masculine energy and implement it, make it happen, take the action. You have to feel it in order to act on it. So that's there. But the other thing is, if this is someone else here, it could be a home environment here with that Four of Wands can represent that. Not being in a peaceful place, you know, not being okay, not being at peace with something. This may be someone here, again, that is not happy about the conclusion here, how things are, but it's kind of telling you not to let that get in your way. I mean, I'm going to get some more for that, though, before I just... Tell me more about this Queen of Wands, please. That's Leo energy. The Ten of Pentacles. This is that comfort zone I was talking about. You see the three tens out on the table. I'm telling you, you're coming to a completion here, but it's up to you, the direction that you take. And that is 10 here as well, which is no nonsense. 10, 10, 10, guys. I mean, you're wrapping up something. This is a significant, huge change that's going to occur in your life, and you're making it happen for yourself. It's coming off of this, which we'll get to. This 10 of Pentacles is about something that you've had in your life for a very, very, very long time. But you no longer feel safe or secure with. And this could be a person. This can also look in the way of, I'm confident I'm not going to obtain what it is that I want where I'm at. And I need to make the decision to get past my fear, move towards what I know I'm capable of, and see past any kind of illusions around me, take responsibility for where I am and how defeated I have felt. Yeah, I can see that. 10 of Cups, please. Look at that. Justice. Yes. We like to see justice. Libra energy. You're going to get some sort of significant justice here. You're having to balance your head and heart in order to make this decision forward. This is your justice here. This is your 10 of Cups. And I guess I probably won't get exactly what this is. It could be in any area of your life, but it's something that has been causing you a lot of anxiety, stress, worry, that's coming in, that you're getting justice for. This is happily ever after here with the 10 of Cups. This can also be as, this can also represent something that you felt like was taken away from you at some point is returning, and it's like you never thought you'd get that chance. But because you're getting that chance, and you're getting that justice, it's making you be very anxious with now taking on the responsibility to act on it and do the right thing, act on it in the right way. Tell me more about the Queen of Wands. The Two of Cups. For some of you, this has to do with the relationship that you don't have peace with, but you feel like that person may be everything or have everything it is that you want or need. You know, that Queen of Wands with that 10 of Pentacles. This can also be someone that a partnership here, having a partnership here with someone. Creating some sort of stability here in this. Give me one more. What is it? Yeah, the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups. For some of you, this has to do with getting to a better place, of having an opportunity to get to a better place emotionally here with someone, to build a strong foundation because you feel like that's what is best for you, for your peace moving forward. For some of you, it's like you're detaching from something that has been holding you back here in some kind of way. You're needing to, the Eight of Cups is about moving on, moving on from something where emotionally you have been stuck so that you can get to where you need to go, get to what it is that you want. As you've grown here, you've not been feeling at peace with this. As you've learned, you've not been feeling at peace with this, but you know that you need to Eight of Cups it. You need to detach, you need to move on, and you need to go towards your Nine of Cups, what is going to make you happy. Knowing what's going to make you happy. But in order to get to that, and that's why you don't see it here with the nines, in order to get to that Nine of Cups of knowing what's going to make you happy, you have to detach from what you know's not and take action towards it. And you're going to get that opportunity. That justice is coming in for you. This can look in the way of a conversation for some of you. Wheel of Fortune, there it is. There's your opportunity. And that's a golden opportunity with that Wheel of Fortune, by the way. This is Spirit giving you the justice it is that's due. But, they can give you justice all day long. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to act with it? What actions will you take with it? What are you going to do with that Wheel of Fortune, with that fortune? Here's the fortune. It's like getting the lottery. And now what are you going to do with it? Because it can either hurt you or help you. Do you know what I mean? This is what you're needing to prepare for. Love, love, love to see the Wheel of Fortune and justice, because you know something good is coming your way, even though it's going to make you feel a little bit anxious about taking responsibility, because there is a little bit of overwhelmingness that goes into this about making that decision and actually stepping up and doing what you feel like you need to do here. Yeah. Five of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. So this could be about releasing yourself from being in a competition here, or, not allowing other things, outside influences, to affect how you move forward. This could be making amends with something here. You have a King of Swords in reverse. So it could have been someone in a Nine of Cups in reverse, a Temperance in reverse. There's something here that you don't feel quite at peace with. There's some upset energy that's here. I feel like been lingering. These two Knights in reverse. Maybe you had an opportunity that you didn't take before. And it's always kind of set with you. The Stars here. You may have had some sort of opportunity or grand idea. When the star comes, it is that wish, that dream. But something didn't feel right about that. You couldn't quite put that dream into reality in some kind of way. And it didn't go the way that I feel like that you wanted it to go. And I think that that's what you're making amends with. I feel like that's what you're releasing here. Okay. I'm going to use some of these because they kind of match the Alice in Wonderland cards. So I thought they would be fun to use. They're the Oddity TwinFlame oracles. Okay, so let's just see what can they expect coming towards them. Radiant Sun, look at that. Confidence, success, enthusiasm, optimism, and fulfillment. guys. It's coming, okay? Be prepared. Something great is going to happen here. And this is about you stepping up, you growing up, you taking the initiative here. We have solar eclipse, unexpected major change, guys. Cosmic intervention and powerful changes of the heart. So for some of you, this may be a change of heart here with that Two of Cups being there. But for most of you, I feel like this is just going to come in very abrupt and unexpected. That number 16 that we started with is the Tower in Tarot. So, two cards came out. Bottom of the deck says sacrifice, a difficult decision, aligning priorities, must give up something to win. So for some of you, there's something here that you're having to make a sacrifice of so that you can have what it is that you want for or need for yourself, this refuge. You know, this is like, okay, and I've been saying this in my readings lately and some of the other readings, the same similar thing keeps coming through. You know, the guy in the boat that needs help, and he keeps asking God for help, and he keeps bringing on people, but he keeps turning them away, and at the end of it, he's like, why didn't you help me? And he's like, I sent you all kinds of stuff, but you weren't taking any of it. And it's this same kind of energy that's here. It's like, this is your opportunity. This is what you need to prepare for, but you're going to have to make some sort of difficult decision or sacrifice. You're going to have to find your inner emperor, your strength to do what you need to do, what you know is right to do, so that you can get to this change that you desperately need. The proud rebel. You're going against somebody here, I feel like. The rule breaker, the nonconformist, and the non-traditional relationship. Now with the Two of Cups and the counterpart energy, this could be something that's not traditional. This relationship here could be, maybe you're going a different kind of route than having a traditional relationship, perhaps. Maybe you and this person aren't going to live together here. I can see that, you know, the Four of Wands, or maybe there's just distance here. Needing to walk away from not, you know, this can look in the way of marriage. Maybe that's something that, you know, maybe you're changing your beliefs on in some kind of way. Won't resonate for everybody, but that's something that's there. You have a rule breaker here, though. But this is a proud rebel. So this rebel is like this King of Wands with this devil. You know, this may be something that other people or someone in particular may look down on in some kind of way, but you know that it's something that you need here. You know that it's something that's going to benefit you. You can see the long version of this, even if someone else can't. You have closed off here, guarded emotional blocks, avoiding emotional connection. For some of you, this may be that you're, for some of you, you may just be deciding to not have an emotional connection at this time because it's not what you need. But for others of you, there's someone here that has kind of an emotional block on you. I said that here, I need to mention it again. There's someone here that could have an attachment, okay, to you, that may, like I said, do everything they can to keep you to stay in this position. So they could act very upset with you if this is someone that you have love for and that you don't want to be upset with you. You know, this is someone that you care about, and you just don't want this person to be emotionally blocked off to you, you know, to be avoiding you. That could be a tactic as well of how they keep you stuck. So just be aware of that. Don't put up with any kind of nonsense. Call them out on it, perhaps. And you know, if we have people in our lives that don't understand that we need to move in directions because we have to do or need to do what's best for us, either, you know, sometimes you have to just go through with it and then have them have that epiphany for themselves later of understanding why you needed to do this for yourself. I mean, that's not everybody's story, but sometimes that's what we have to do, because we can't change other people, and we certainly can't just live our lives for someone else either. We all have a purpose that we need to fulfill, you know, and that's the whole point of learning and growing and evolving. Not everybody's going to understand that or want it. But I feel like for some of you, this is something that you're doing that's very out of the ordinary. If it's on a whole nother page here, I feel like this is something that's very out of the ordinary. Maybe it's just be out of the ordinary for you. It's some kind of significant sacrifice. Yeah, and look at this, the battlefield. But miracle is here. And the proper offering, nature calls, which is called, it says, ground yourself. And then you have justice there with fair is fair. I mean, come on. Take a breather, connect with nature, ground yourself. Proper offering, because you're about to receive some sort of grand gesture here, waiting to have something to offer, a gift or contribution, receiving an offer. So something is coming, so ground yourself here. And then you have miracles. You're going to feel like this is a miracle. Luck is on your side here. Blessings are surrounding you. This is like you understanding that, like the guy in the boat, you know, battlefield. So there's someone here that's not on the same page as you, or this is something that you're going to have to fight for in some kind of way, okay? But I think that this has to do with other people disagreeing with this, but needing to make a sacrifice, you know, to align your priorities. Not just do what other people want you to do, but know that you need to do some things for yourself here. Okay. I want to get some advice. I do want to use these, but I'm going to pull a postcard from Spirit for you guys, but I want to get some advice in a different cards here. Use these. Definitely protect your own, what you feel like is where you feel safe and secure. You know, protecting that is here. Needing to protect your own stability. It's like being out in the cold with someone, knowing there's a sanctuary right there in front of you, but that person doesn't want to go knock on the door, because if they go knock on the door, there's a whole group of people in there, and what if you get lost in there, you know, or something like that. You may be nice, stay warm, have food, all that good stuff, but they would rather be out in the cold with you so that they can have you to themselves. You know, that kind of energy is there. It keeps coming up, so y'all be careful of whatever that is. But this is like being out in the cold here, and knowing when it's time to go knock on that sanctuary, knowing when that offer comes to you to take it, you know, because you need that refuge. Okay, so advice here for call 2. All right. The portal, access to the infinite, is at the bottom of the deck, which I feel like is relevant. Oh, 2 cards. Looky there. You have this lion here, and now you have this cheetah here, or leopard, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a, well, it doesn't matter. Sorry guys, I had to pause for just a second again. So we have Pachamama here with blessings from the Great Mother. So dragonflies may be significant, but also, and it ties into this here as well. You know, with all this greenery and, you know, this being the goddess here. This is about independence. You know, this is about on her own being able to use her creativity, her creative power to be able to ground sustainable life here on earth, using her, and I say her, goddess, you know, Pachamama, being able to grow a sustainable security or foundation here out of her own creativity and what she's imagining and what is she wants. And it's interesting because I feel like this is where you're at, but you're just needing to act upon that, to actually implement it, to make it happen for yourself, and not allow the 5 of Wands, the outside influences, to affect it. Blessings from the Great Mother. And again, this is a blessing that's coming in for you. So remember that Wheel of Fortune and Justice. We have rebirth, yeah. Metamorphosis and new beginnings. This is exactly it. And this is this portal here. You know, those don't stay open forever. This access to this. This is like this opportunity. The Wheel of Fortune and Justice. They're not going to stick around forever. Like I said before, this is an opportunity for you to have significant change here. For you to have this new beginning, this metamorphosis take place. But some sacrifices have to go into this. You may have to break a few barriers here. But it can cause such a good place here for you guys in the end of this. I feel like this is something that's coming your way. If you get offered something like this, it's for a reason. It's because you deserve it. You know, sometimes we sit there and we're like, why am I not getting what it is I feel like I deserve? Well, maybe you have gotten it, but you were too scared at the time, or you were too nervous, or you were afraid of what's to come, or if it was the right thing, that moon got in the way, right? You're afraid of what you couldn't see, or if it didn't work out. And Spirit's like, well, we have been giving you what you deserve, but you keep turning it away like the guy in the boat. Live your dreams. Yeah, there's a lot to do with you moving towards a dream, a goal that you have. Dear wonderful you, intimacy is scary sometimes. It means that you have to let someone else get to know the real you, not the perfect, flawless mask that you wear for others. No, it's time to reveal the cool one, the passionate one, the imperfect one that is totally you without artifacts or walls. Yes, you will be expelled. Well, you have the proud rebel here, so some of you, yeah. You will be exposed and vulnerable for a time, but it will be so worth it. This is what I was talking about sacrifice and everything else. You know, you're going to be vulnerable here at a point in time. Asking as well into the sanctuary, you have to be vulnerable and ask. You know what I mean? For that refuge. For some of you, this is an opportunity to do that even. I feel like it could be, it's like when you get an opportunity to ask someone for something that you need. For some of you, it's kind of like that, because of you will be exposed and vulnerable for a time, but it will be so worth it. This is the only way that you will know true closeness with others, and you will also be close to Spirit and to us. So for some of you, you may be developing trust here with someone. There's an amazing freedom that comes when you learn to let go and just be yourself with another or a group. Release the invisible bindings that keep you from intimacy is truly empowering. So may we support you wholeheartedly in this choice. You will know yourself better, and we hope learn to love yourself as much as we do. Life is about who we are with others, so share it. You will be so glad that you did. Loving you so, so much. For some of you, this is significant of stepping outside of where you have been for so long, stepping outside of that comfort zone, you know, and I think that's something that's coming into play a lot at this time, is the energy of stepping outside of your comfort zone, because in this energy that we're in right now, we can be in this huge manifestation place where we're catapulted into our future. But you have to be in that place to where you're taking action. If you're not taking the action, it's not going to, you can't think of energy as, let's just say, if I have a lot of energy one day, I'm going to get some stuff done around here, okay? Let me tell you, if I get the energy, I'm going to go unload some of those stupid boxes in my garage. I'm going to use that energy. This is what they're saying here. You're going to come into this energy, this opportunity. Everything's going to align for you. It's you making the choice to take action towards it. And there's going to be some things that you're going to have to sacrifice, some things that you're going to have to break yourself free from. Guard yourself, you know, here if you need to emotionally. Step into logic to make that decision. And you may have to tell others that, you know, this is a logical decision for me. This is what I need to do. You know, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But I do, and it's my life. I've had to say that, if you can't tell, a time or two. And guess what? It's worked out for me. Where I am now, people couldn't understand why I wanted to be here and let go of everything that I had, which I lived on a lot of land, which was beautiful and awesome and everything. But I'm going to tell you, I'm so, there's just been this huge weight that's been lifted off my shoulders about all kinds of things, even little things that I didn't know were going to be easier for me in my life that are. I mean, and I'm happier now. I'm freer now. I have more time now. And it's awesome. And my kids love it. They have friends and places to go around here, you know, that they can connect with. And I knew it was the right decision for me, regardless of what everybody else was saying. I knew it was the right decision, and I acted on it. It took me a couple of times to decide. I had an opportunity, you know, a couple of times, but I finally did it, and let everyone else's opinion of everything's kind of subside so that I could do what I felt internally was best, and it worked out. So this is kind of what it's saying here. Release the guilt. Gotta release the guilt. And there's going to be someone here that could be guilt tripping you. So be closed off to the emotions. When people do that, they're doing and saying everything that they can because they know that you're fixing to break free for them. And they don't want that. Sorry, guys. I have my little one come in. And look at this. You have the 9 of Wands and the 10 of Wands, which are 2 cards you have sitting right here to clarify. So that's just super strange. Yeah, you know, needing to take responsibility for your own things and not everybody else's is something that's here. And someone may be making you feel guilty because that's all they can do. And this could just be internal. Like, man, I just feel so guilty because it should be my responsibility, or I should be doing something here. And you're having to, this is going to be a test of your faith, right? This is going to test your strength here with this 9 of Wands. He's standing there. He's wounded. He's been through it. He's tired. He needs refuge. He needs something to eat, needs a good meal, nice sleep. But he's standing there, barely standing there, wounded, but he is secure. And that right there is where you need to be. Maybe wounded, but secure and understanding that, look at the way he's looking at this 10 of Wands. I know I need to move from this. This is not working out for me. I don't want to carry these 10 Wands everywhere I go. And that's part of that guilt as well. Not carrying that guilt of everybody else's, being responsible for what everybody else needs or want as well. Doing what now is best for you. You know, sometimes we need to do what's best for us in the present moment so that we can provide for others in the future. And they may not see that until then. If you just listen to me, I need to do this for myself, you know. It's that kind of thing that's there. Look, we have Paul and BFF right here. Some of you are fixing to get in C. Some of you are fixing to get a companion. I said that in the beginning. Didn't I say? Yeah, I did say that in the beginning there with it's one of the very first things that I saw with the cat and her sitting next to each other. And this might have been just a fleeting thought that you had, and you kind of brushed it away because you're like, I can't have a dog. I can't have a dog. I can't take responsibility of that, you know, right now. Or there's, you know, this idea of having a companion. You have that 2 of Cups there. So for some of you, this may be just having a partner, someone you can trust when it comes to that, someone that you can rely on, someone that is stable here that you can rely on. Okay, so we have PAW there. You can spell map out of this as well. So mapping out a plan may be something moving forward. You have TD, to do. Your to-do list is to map out a plan, guys. You have BFF here, so a friend may be a partner here with you in this in some kind of way. I don't know why I keep feeling like somebody's fixing to move, and you and a friend are fixing to map out some kind of to-do list or plan. Maybe you're going into a partnership with this person or moving in with someone here or something like that. You have C, E, A. You can spell Pam here as well. As far as that goes about knowing that whenever you do take a leap, you know, you make a plan, you map it out, you say what you're going to do, and you take the leap, hoping that plan's going to work. But you need to also have that courage that if it doesn't go quite like you're saying, that you can work around it. All it is right now is knowing that the leap needs to be taken, or the action needs to be taken. Yeah. And then you have to work out the kinks as you go. We have T here as well. So spilling the tea here. We have DC, could be relevant, but spilling the tea about something. It could also represent that comfort, you know, moving towards what you feel like is comfort for you, or more comfortable for you to be. You have the heart here. So again, that heart, Queen of Hearts, it's like for some of you, you may have to go through something that's not going to feel so great on your heart, sacrifice, but it's a difficult decision, but you know that it's something that, again, it's needed. And that person may figure that out later. This could even look in the way of you and someone not agreeing on the same things when it comes to a home or a marriage or an event, you know, something like that. But you need to having to move in a direction for yourself. Okay, I've kind of just keep repeating myself. We have date, so setting a date could be important. Setting a date, mapping something out. We have 8. Maybe you're going to eat and have a conversation with someone about setting a date to map some plans out. We have camp. So it could have to do with something to do with camping or being, we have damp here as well. So don't let it damper your plans. I like the way that came together. Something, not allowing something to damper your plans here. So don't plan something out and then backtrack. You know what I mean? If you make a plan and a date, stick to it is what it's saying. That's what you need to be doing here. Tape. So make sure you, I was going to say record what it is that you're wanting to do. We have DM here, tape and DM. You could be sending some kind of message to someone. Tape. I'm getting like this image of taping something to like your door so you don't forget, or something like this, setting up a regular schedule, or there's something to do with something like this. Tape and DM. Some of you, I feel like there's some kind of meaning behind this that you are going to understand that I don't know. You have made here as well. So maybe someone made a tape of something and they need to send it to someone. And that's something that you've been holding on to, right? An opportunity. We have mad right here. Some of you, and pet, look at there, I told you companion. Some of you may, okay, there may be something here that you may have done. You may have recorded something and sent it to someone else. There's something here that you may be feeling bad about in some kind of way that you're needing to justify or make justice or peace with. That could be holding you back in some sense. That's not going to resonate obviously for everybody, but there may be something. It could have to do with a friend that you're needing to make peace with here, perhaps. A friend could be involved in some way. Okay, I'm gonna hold this up so y'all can see, and I'm gonna leave you here. So guys, I hope this helps. Good luck to you with this. Sending you some love and light, and thanks so much for being here. Thanks for all your love and support, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you chose the Eagle Spirit with freedom, the number 13, and then also y'all have the Forest Creatures Tarot, the 2nd edition. Okay, guys. So, lots going on here in this card. Also, real quick, when I was in your meditation, I felt the need to sing, I don't even know the name of it now. It's Gonna Be a Bright, Sunshiny Day, that song. So I feel like this is going to be a good reading. Maybe you should sing that song. Maybe it'll just bring you some good joy feeling. So you have joyful feeling. Eagle Spirit with freedom and the number 13, which is actually death in tarot, so Scorpio energy. It's about transformation, closing a cycle, starting something new here, going after what it is that you want with that eagle, the eagle here. You have also this this Pegasus down here at the bottom. So it's like this, having freedom here, getting out of this place where you have felt very possibly lost, or like you've been in this obsessive thinking here about something. You're setting your sights, I feel like, for higher things for yourself. You're ready to let something go. You're ready to release it. You're ready to move forward. And I think that you're feeling really good about having this newfound sense of freedom. Yeah. I think it's something that's going to be moving forward very quickly with that eagle spirit. We're actually going to get some oracles to start before we get into the tarot. These are the Alice in Wonderland oracles. Haven't used in a little bit. So I feel like that you're coming from a really heavy place where you may feel like there's nothing there for you, or it's not turning out, it's not happening. This is something that for some of you, you've needed to let go of for a long time. You may have been really holding on to a situation or holding on to something, and it's now you have this drive, you know, to move towards something that you feel like would be very good or beneficial for you. There's this level of wanting to protect this as well that's here. So it's like you're starting, for some of you, this could be starting a fresh new idea or take on a business. With this freedom here, it's like allowing yourself to be free in that, allowing yourself to not kind of be free in the idea of this, so you can kind of be creative, you know, allowing your creative side to be free. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so let's see. Pile 3. What do they need to prepare for? Freedom, I feel like, is the biggest part of this, obviously. You need to prepare for freedom. Freedom and vision, or what it is that you're wanting to do here. Closing a cycle out here. You have forget who you are, number 41. Conditioning falls away. Memory no longer defines you. Yeah, that's that death energy, guys. You are, and you have the fawn here, so that's representing that new beginning. So it's something that you're, you know, wanting to nurture, like I said, wanting to protect. Some kind of new beginning here that you want to protect, that is going to give you a new sense of freedom that you have your eye on. And there's uncertainty here, the number 39. Choose who you will become. Funny, because it says forget who you are and choose who you will become. The number 41, the number 39, the number 13. You have all these threes that are here. You could be seeing 333, about growth and expansion. Waiting, you know, something you've been waiting for here. Wrapping up loose ends and putting yourself in that position to where you're on the right path for yourself here. Forgetting about who you were, breaking free of that past, and becoming someone that you've wanted to be, you know, being able to let all that conditioning fall apart of what you've been told about yourself, and allowing yourself to be who it is that you're choosing to be. And there may be a sense of uncertainty there about how that's going to work or how that's going to play out. But you know at this point here that you're developing this sense of freedom. This can be in like not letting other people criticize it or criticize you, or just this conditioning that you've been under, and allowing that to fall to the wayside so that you can move forward here. But choosing who you are. Look at that. Choices at the bottom of the deck. Feeling blocked or restrained. Number 6. So there's something here that you've been feeling blocked from being able to choose. And I feel like with freedom here, that's fixing to change. So funny how these cards have worked out. Come together. So sorry, guys. That was my son. He had to tell me a story. It couldn't wait. So you've been feeling blocked. You've been feeling restricted here from making certain choices. All must have prizes. That's the number 13 as well, which is what you started with. Trying to please everyone, folks. Or some of you need to go listen to pile 2. See, she's holding that thimble, which is that level of protection, which keeps coming up. It's something we've keep referencing. Sorry. Trying to please everyone could be part of this. All must have prizes. Trying to please everyone. Yeah, it's like, why the heck have I worked so hard for this if everybody's going to get the same outcome? You know, there's something here big that you're breaking free from. For some of you, this is detaching from a pattern, detaching from what everyone's done. Like, oh, everybody's done this in my family, but this isn't really necessarily what I want to be doing, you know, and choosing to break yourself free from that, choosing to do something completely different outside of what everyone else has, because you don't feel like you feel like you're meant for more. You feel like you need to protect this, though. This keeps coming up. Whatever this is, it's a choice or an idea that can possibly even give you a sense of freedom, but you needing to protect it because it's something that you love, something that you really cherish, and you don't want anything to get in the way of it. Wow, that came flying right out. It's the devil. Look at it. It came flying right out of the deck. Oh, that's scary. Capricorn energy. You're trying to protect this, your freedom here. You're trying to protect this from this devilish energy. It's like you don't want anything to mess this up for you. You don't want anybody or anything to mess this up for you. It's like you're breaking yourself free from some sort of obsession or addiction or influence or fear. You know, there's something here with this devil, something toxic. Something in whatever way, shape, or form that is a memory that you're needing to detach or break yourself free from. You need to end this cycle here and choose something else. That story, that narrative that you keep telling yourself is something that needs to shift, and I think that's what's coming towards you. I think that you may be already feeling the effects of this at this time. Like, this is starting to shift. You know, you're starting to, I really feel the death card. And this may try to attach itself to you right here at the end of this shift. So this is maybe what you need to prepare for. Like, this is like when you know something is over and done with. And you kind of grieve that loss right there at the end of it, when maybe before you thought you kept having some chances there. It's kind of that feeling. What do they need to prepare for? You have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. Every single pile has got the 9 of Swords. Yours is the first one that's in reverse. This is that conditioning falling away. This is not allowing any kind of anxieties to hold you back. This is where you can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel. You're feeling that. I feel like you guys, if this is your reading, I feel like you're in this place to where you feel like you're fixing to see the light, or you're fixing to come out of the darkness. You know, you're fixing to come out of those shadows. You feel like that. She's been in this hole here for so long, and she's sitting on the edge of it, like she hasn't moved forward because there's a little bit of uncertainty here about what will happen and those choices that she's needing to make. But she knows that she can get out of it. Okay. Or she needs to, right? Ace of Swords. Epiphany, truth, enlightenment, in a way of knowledge, okay? Brand new beginning, being honest. A brand new beginning with being clear and not being uncertain here about who it is that you want to be in this situation. What position you want to take. For some of you, there could be some truth coming in. I feel like for a lot of you, this is about having an epiphany that you need to move forward here with this understanding that you now have. Something not being good for you, something not working out. Wheel of Fortune. It's always good to see the Wheel of Fortune because things are moving in the right direction, upright. So for some of you, this has to do with knowing the truth about things needing to happen in a certain way, or knowing the truth that this is your opportunity to release things, to let things go. Let's get some clarifiers. I think I'll get more information with them about this Wheel of Fortune, but I feel like this is something you're still sitting on. I don't think you've, because this uncertainty. This could be closure for some of you. This could be closure in a situation and getting an opportunity to have closure in a situation, have that conversation or have that information that you've needed or whatever this is. I think this is going to give you some choices moving forward. This is maybe also be an understanding of why something was being blocked or restricted. And it could have to do with someone or you trying to please everyone in a situation. Like, I'm just trying to do what's best for everybody, when really you're just needing to take on what's best for you here and choose who it is that you want to become out of this. But tell me about the Devil. The Knight of Cups in reverse. For some of you, this could have been a relationship that you were holding on to that wasn't good for you, or a hope for that. Someone having romantic feelings for you, or someone offering you something here, or having some kind of a retake on something here, having obsessive thinking about this. I do feel like for most of you, this is ending that thought of that coming into play, that happening, breaking yourself free from that person, perhaps, knowing that wasn't something that was good for you. We'll get some more for that. Tell me about the Nine of Swords, the Lovers. I think this is going to have to do with the relationship for a lot of you. Not holding on to something in the past. This is a choice. This is a choice. You may feel blocked with your options. Trying to do what's best for everybody, but you feel blocked with restricted by what your options are when it comes to a relationship, perhaps. Maybe getting out of your head about that is something that's here as well. For some of you, there's someone here that you felt very connected to, and someone that you've already made some kind of choice with in your heart. Like, I've already chosen that this is the person. Or for some of you, it's feeling very connected to someone where it used to cause you anxiety, and you're trying to break the anxiety away from that. Like, I don't want to be anxious in relationships because I'm afraid of what this person is feeling or not feeling, or what's going to happen. For some of you, this is a pattern, or there's someone here that you've attached to yourself to from the past that you still obsessively think about having another chance with that person, or that person coming towards you in some kind of way, and it keeping you stuck when it comes to relationships and the choices that you make moving forward. This is having freedom and releasing yourself from that story that you're telling yourself so that you can choose to be different here moving forward. This is an epiphany of that. The High Priestess. So this is something that you knew was going to come. This is also listening to your higher self, listening to what you know you need to be doing here with moving forward with that Ace of Swords. This can be like, I knew this was the case, or now that I know this person has someone else perhaps, or has chosen someone else, I can finally move on. Like, I understand what happened in that, or I need to release this. I know I feel this way with this person, but it's not going to help me moving forward. I need to get past this energy. I think that for most of you, you're going to figure out some kind of truth here that you may have already knew, but you didn't know for sure. And I think you're fixing to know for sure. And then you're going to be faced with some choices here and a new direction to take of who it is that you want to be moving forward. Bottom line, you're releasing something and has to do with the relationship and what you're choosing and making choices moving forward. So what's the Wheel of Fortune here? Because this is a brand new opportunity. Brand new beginning, brand new opportunity. Look at that, Ace of Wands. Yeah, you are fixing to have a new beginning. You've broke yourself free from something and you're fixing to have a new beginning. And I feel like it has to do with love. I mean, altogether, just relationships. Not to say if it's someone in particular, but for some of you, I have to say this message. There could be someone here, possibly, that could be returning, that you've already felt like that they were coming towards you, and you've been prepared or ready for what it is that you want to say to this person, or how you want to communicate to this person. And you want an opportunity here, possibly to have a new start, or this person's wanting this opportunity to start over. There's some kind of new idea that could come into play here with this. I just think that you're going to have some choices, and you're going to have to decide what you need to do that's best for you, and instead of trying to please everyone. Yeah. But for some of you, this has to do with relationships moving forward. So it depends on if you have someone or if you don't, if you're single, where you're at in your life. Tell me about let's look at that Knight of Cups in reverse. Judgment in reverse. You may have missed an opportunity here in your past because you were afraid of others in some kind of way. Like you didn't act on something here because you were afraid of judgment. You allowed fear to kind of take over in that. For others of you, this is facing the truth here about something not going in your direction. Someone not being honest about their feelings. I can see that here. Allowing fear to kind of take over their emotions, or being able to give emotionally. Tell me about the Lovers with the Nine of Swords. The Four of Wands in reverse. So there's a lack of peace. There's a lack of foundation here in this relationship. This is about getting out of that anxiety of that. Like, for some of you, this is, I'm never going to get the truth here. And this is the attachment that you've had. I need to know what this person feels. I need to know if they love me, if they care about me. This is like, I'm never going to get the truth in this. And regardless of how I feel in this situation, I know that if I just stay here, this is not good energy for me to be in. I need to detach and let this go. And this could be the epiphany that you need to have. That inner knowing, following your inner guidance, doing what you know is best, and taking an opportunity elsewhere. For some of you, you may have another choice here, and that could be the direction that you're moving towards. Tell me about High Priestess. The Five of Wands. So as I say that, this card of competition comes out. You see these two individuals on the card, both going for this wand here. So you may feel like, for some of you, if you're going towards someone here, only for you that are going towards someone, choosing to go towards something, you may find yourself or be worried about having some kind of competition. For others of you, you may get some kind of truth here about why conflict occurred, and it could have to do with the outside party or someone else being involved here, like someone choosing someone else or something like this. I also get this sensation of being in a pool that has a lot of chlorine, like a public pool, a community pool, something like that. I don't know what that means for you guys, but being that I'm talking about what I'm talking about, you may feel like maybe you weren't the only one, or having this truth bomb that you knew that there was this person was involved with other people perhaps, or why a conflict occurred, whichever one that is for you, okay? And I'm sorry I can't get more detail of that. We'll see if what comes out. But why is this Ace of Wands here with the Wheel of Fortune? The Seven of Swords. This is an interesting Seven of Swords because she's actually hiding behind the tree, looking, and she has a smile on her face. You could be kind of just now an opportunity to have a new idea or new direction here. Seeing this as freedom, so you can release what was, that being that memory that you're holding on to, so that you can create something new, but being very, again, protective and strategic here about how it is that you approach the situation. For some of you, I feel like you may have two different individuals coming towards you, so that's why I'm feeling such a different dynamics here. You may have two opportunities coming towards you. One of them's going to bring you some truth, and the other one's going to bring you, the other one is going to bring you an opportunity to have some fun here, an opportunity to have some freedom, but you are a little bit protective, a little bit guarded, and a little bit, you know, she's hiding behind that tree. She doesn't know what's going to come. You have the Sun in reverse. Okay. For some of you, you may find a disappointment here. There may be some kind of disappointment here. And that might be why you move forward in such a strategic way, is because you're carrying something you're holding back here. This is this restraint or blockage. Why is this here? It's weird energy because it's like Leo's there, by the way, and you have Gemini here as well, Scorpio, Capricorn, Pisces, all the fixed signs. So Taurus and I think I already said Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius energy. Tell me more about the Sun in reverse. There's a blockage. Six of Wands in the reverse. This is a strange energy because it's like you're going along and then there's this block. And something's not being exposed. An opportunity. You may have an opportunity here or something that is working out. Why something didn't work out. Why someone was being strategic. Why things didn't work out for you. Why this disappointment had to happen. And I can totally see that now. Understanding that. Seeing it as something that's fortunate, which is a repetitive message from pile 2, which I think I already mentioned. Why is this Ace of Wands? What was this Ace of Wands? The Moon in reverse. There's some kind of illusion that was created around a new beginning, okay? And there was some things that were unseen here, some truths that were being held back. There was the disappointment of those things that were being held back or sneaky or deceptive, you know. And there's an opportunity that's going to surface here for this stuff to come into the light here with the Moon. The illusions of what you thought are going to come to the surface in whatever kind of way. And whether you're bringing this information here with this Ace of Swords or someone else is bringing it to you, but it's going to come out into the open and it's going to be exposed in a way to where you're going to have some choices here. And I think for some of you, you're the one with the block. Like you're the one that's either going to block some things or allow things to move forward. And that's the choice. What is Judgment in reverse? The Chariot in reverse. Someone either followed the wrong advice or it's like someone running from a situation, okay? And it could be the truth about why someone was needing you as well. I can see that because the Chariot, when it's in reverse, it's like so you need someone else to get the reins of your fear, you know, your fears. That could be here as well. Not moving in a direction because you feel like you don't know if that's for your highest good or not, or you're having a hard time, or you're allowing fear to take control of the decisions that you're making. Okay. This can also look in the way of obsessing about something of your past, and you know good and darn well it's not good for you, but you just can't break yourself free from it. The Four of Wands, it's something that's not coming together in the way that you wanted it to. You have a King of Pentacles that just fell in my lap, like that. So this could be someone that's coming towards you wanting to offer now some kind of commitment that they didn't in the past, or some kind of honesty, perhaps. Someone that's wanting to be honest with their word, or be truthful, or be clear. Yeah. Or you're in this place to where you want to be clear about what it is that you want. You want stability. But I feel like for some of you, this is someone coming back around wanting a commitment now, and you're going to be faced with a choice. And this may be something that you're like, you just got over. Tell me about the Five of Wands. Justice. Well, that's always good to see with that King of Pentacles. Getting justice in a situation. This is someone that maybe they haven't chose you in the past. They want to choose you now. This could be an argument or a conflict that you experience with someone that you've been thinking a lot about. The truth of that, behind that. This is coming. This is justice coming. This is someone that's wanting to be honest with you here. Tell me more about this moon in the reverse. What is this? It's coming to light. I guess it may look a little different for everybody, but here's that Hierophant in reverse with that Eight of Pentacles in reverse. It's why something didn't move forward towards a commitment. Why someone didn't stay committed to something. You have a Knight of Swords in the reverse here. So this may come in very impulsively. This could be something also that you're just breaking yourself free from. Like, you know, you get to a point to where you don't need closure. You get to a point where you don't need to know. You get to a point to where you don't even care anymore about that. You want to let that fall away. You're not going to let that define you and your story moving forward, and you're making different choices for yourself. You know, and who it is that you want to become moving forward. But I feel like for some of you, this may be something that someone close to you is going through, and now they're trying to be honest here about, honest with themselves, and but honest with you here about what has transpired or why something didn't move forward here, take off, go in a direction. The truth is coming to you about this. You're fixing to get a new understanding about this. And it's something that I feel like for most of you, you've already kind of let this go. It's like, because you know you've needed to. You may have sat on this for a very, very long time, trying to understand why this has occurred in this way. Social circle, networking, meeting new people, going out and having fun. So you may be in this energy to where, again, you're not so much concerned or worried about this at this time. Epiphany, there it is, right on top of that Ace of Swords. Discovering a realization, sudden insight into reality, and dig deep within for answers. Yep. Wherever you have been sitting is you're breaking yourself free from, and you're moving on to choosing new things here for yourself. The Devil's Domain, obsession, addictions, poor habits, and codependency. This is this epiphany. It could be around other people too. It may not just be one person. It could be other people. that are around you that you may feel like are not good for you, you know, and you have this like realization or epiphany that you're not happy around these people or where you are, you know, or who they this person that you are and how you maintain that person with other people around you, the other people around you, you know, and wanting to be in a different place. You know, this could be about you finally breaking yourself free from fear and wanting to socialize here, get to know someone, get to know others. Also, I am seeing if someone's coming towards you here, the epiphany that you're having here is that you feel like you may have already felt like you've moved on from this in a way, like you broke yourself free from feeling that dependency or attachment to this person, and then now they're coming back in, possibly trying to represent themselves in a different way. And that's the choice that's on you. Can I trust this person? This Knight of Swords here in reverse, the Four of Pentacles in reverse, because you've broke yourself free here. This is also someone that, if that's your story, this is someone here that's wants to break themselves free of something they've been holding back, some kind of truth or information they've been holding back. I mean, I'm asking what's coming towards you here, what you're going to have to prepare for. And you have the Devil here and you have Devil's Domain. So this is definitely something that you've had an attachment to at some point. You have long list, high maintenance, unrealistic standards, and never satisfied or hard to please. So you may feel like this is someone that it's just too hard to please. Someone that has really high standards here that you can't fulfill. Tiffany. The Moon. Yeah. This is having a realization. We have the Moon here, right? With the Epiphany. Having a realization that for some of you, this is you deserving more. This is having a realization of who you are. And, but the Moon says, fears and insecurities, things are not as they seem. There's information yet to be revealed with Epiphany. So I feel like for most of you, there is going to be some serious, like, aha, crazy moment that happens that is going to it's going to put you in line with your intuition. Like, I knew this was the case, or I knew this was what was going on, or something like that, okay? And that would be someone bringing you information. For others of you, it could be that you've had some sort of fear or insecurity that has been from your past here, that has been creating a screw up here and how you make choices for yourself with who you want to be. And that's what you're breaking yourself free from. Tell me about Devil's Domain. Miss Winter, stuck. Yeah, you've been stuck obsessing about something. Stagnation, delays, and setbacks. And that's the same thing you have here, feeling blocked. You've been in this position for some of you where you have been doing what, two possibilities, so you are going to have a choice here. You've been doing what other people want you to do. You've been doing whatever you could for someone else or what other people want you to do, and you haven't been doing what you feel like is right or best for you. You've been in a place to where you've been stuck on obsessing about the past energy and what you should have done perhaps, or how you should have handled a situation, or what happened in that situation. And there's been this dependency on moving forward with the truth of that in some sort of way that you're having an epiphany to. That maybe that you're right, that wasn't what it seemed, but you may not need that closure to move forward, you know, or there's information here that's going to come to light that's going to help you to be able to move forward, to move on, to know that you have choices here. And it's gonna break you free from feeling stuck with those choices, okay? You may, for some of you, have had someone here on a pedestal that you're realizing you're the one that should have been on the pedestal, because you were the one that was giving so much. Does that make sense? They should have had you on a pedestal. I mean, yeah, because, and I don't like that saying anyways. I don't think anybody should be on a pedestal. It should be equal, it should be balanced. But you may have this epiphany of this, like, why am I putting this person so far up here? And it has more to do with maybe your own fears or insecurities of a memory here you've been holding than it has to do with this person. Breaking yourself free from that. I am feeling some trauma bonds being broke here as well, guys. I am feeling that. Let's get some advice. Then we'll get a postcard from Spirit and some initials, okay? Can you tell me more about this advice? Ancestors. Guidance, protection, and lessons. So there's definitely this. You may have been breaking yourself free from some sort of repetitive pattern. It could be an ancestral pattern, perhaps. But I feel like for some of you, this is just a lesson in your past that you've been needing to release or let go of. And you're not that same person. You know, you're not whoever that was. You know, maybe wanting to do everything in the right way this go around, but allowing yourself to choose who you become, though, and make choices that are best for you, and not letting any kind of insecurity or fear of losing someone or that you're making choices based off of that. Because then it can, again, that pedestal thing's coming to mind. Like, it has to be equal. It has to be balanced. Tell me, I want to know more. Can you give me some advice here about these two possibilities and choices? Give me some more. I want to know some information here. I was going to ask about the two possibilities. Can we have some advice about the two possibilities here? Patience, inner peace, and self-control. So this may have to do with you having self-control here. Giving yourself some time, I think, is important to have peace with whatever decision it is that you do make. There also, this protection thing keeps coming to play with protecting yourself, for protecting your freedom or your peace, facing your fears, courage, and inner strength. So inner peace, inner strength. So for some of you, this has to do with facing a fear that you have. We have limitless access to infinite potentials at the bottom of the deck, and that is about choosing who you want to become in this. Not letting the story take over. Let me see something else, because I don't feel like I got what I really wanted to its fullest in this reading. Facing your fear is difficult, you know. You have to have courage to become something different, to choose something different, to be honest with yourself in that, to break yourself free from something, to unstick yourself, right? To open that door. You have to have control and patience and peace with the decisions that you make when you're facing a fear. You have to have inner strength. And I think this is where you're at, guys. I think that this is an opportunity to implement this inner strength here. What am I missing here? What do they need to prepare for? What am I missing here, Spirit? Yeah, romantic feelings. That's there. Romantic feelings. And truth. Guys, somebody here is fixing to be honest with you about their feelings, okay? Somebody is fixing to confess or express some emotions here to you that possibly you've already detached from. So sorry. They're waiting for me. Okay. I want to get one more. So some of you, you're fixing to get this, but now there may be something that comes along with this, and this is where the choice comes in. So what is that moving forward here? Family. Something to do with family. The ancestors is here again. Protecting the family, having patience, self-control, facing your fear here so you can protect the family. Our children being important here as well. Romantic feelings, the truth about the family. And this is, I said this earlier, you could be breaking yourself free from what you've always done or what other people expect of you. You know, you can see that here as well. All must have prizes, trying to please everyone. For some of you, this may have to do with having to please family and choose a relationship or something here that you want to do based off of that, and breaking yourself free from that, confessing that. For some of you, this is about confessing that you have feelings here. Or someone confessing that they have feelings here. For you, there could be some secrets or truth. Give me some more about that. But the outcome is being, you know, what you're moving in towards, what's going to happen. And with family, that's about having that stability in something. So I do feel like that's going to happen. What's the two possibilities? The crossroads. Maybe having to choose between a relationship and family is here as well. We have spiritual awakening. That epiphany is coming back out with life lessons and rebirth. And legal matters. There's your justice again. For some of you, there could be someone here that, I'm just going to say, it has to do with having romantic feelings. And hookup is bottom of the deck. Having romantic feelings and the truth behind that. Someone I feel like is going to confess to you, some of you guys, about how they feel. Just so they can find some sense of stability within it. You may have had a casual relationship with this person. This person could also, for some of you, had a family here already. And the truth behind that is coming to the surface. Obviously, that won't resonate for everybody. But I feel like you would already kind of be sensing this. So that you can release what was and move forward. All this is about you releasing the memory of what was and having freedom here, closing a cycle out so that you can move forward. You're getting that epiphany so that you can have justice within this, so that you can, now you're at that critical stage of making that choice now, moving forward, especially when it comes to if you can trust a situation here. Postcard from Spirit. Battlefield. Miracles. I feel like there's someone here that was never satisfied, or you felt like they were really hard to please. You're just going to have an epiphany about this, why something transpired, so that you can finally make a decision on what you want to do with it and close it out. You are fierce. Dearest you, there is only one you, and you have a unique path and a special purpose. You're supposed to have specific experiences in this world and meet certain people, and then it's up to you how you live, how awake you choose to be, and how willing you are to grow and step away from what's false. Don't compare yourself to others. It's easy to think a person is happier just because their outside looks good according to society standards. But you can't know anyone's internal experience. Compare yourself only to your past self. Yeah, and that's what they're saying here. Memory no longer defines you, and choose who you want to become. See how far you've come. Don't be distracted by what others are doing or accomplishing. Stay focused on what inspires you. And this could just represent the truth behind what you feel about a situation and making a decision moving forward. And I just smelt garlic powder. That's how you get successful and find happiness. Want what you have, not what someone else has. You know, and that's a big thing here too with trying to please everyone. And garlic powder, you know, energy vampires. I think garlic powder with energy vampires, people that drain you, and this could have to do with family. But something to do with like other people and draining you, and you not having the energy. And this could have to do with the truth of a relationship as well. That's how you get successful and find happiness. Want what you have now, not what someone else has. You love you immensely and know your journey ahead is sparkling with miracles and wondrous things. Trust, loving you forever and ever. Okay, let's get some, I'm going to get some, somewhere, some stickers here, and then we'll get some initials to close. I feel like y'all's reading was all over the place. There was a lot of different types of messages that came through. I think most of it has to do with the relationship. You have a Two of Cups here now. You also have trust myself, yeah, and making a decision. Go for it. So maybe taking a leap here. Accept what is, accept where things are. Healing past a situation and then releasing it and find a new approach. For some of you, this is finding a new approach in relationships because of healing, trusting in yourself, going for it, and accept whatever, you know, accept what is, accept your feelings. This could be someone that is going for it and accepting the way that they feel as well, wants to heal or approach a situation differently. But you're going to have to accept, you know, this could be someone that's saying, yeah, I have feelings for you, but the truth is I already have a family, or the truth is that, you know, something else is, kids are important, more important to me at this time, or something like this is here. Yeah. And needing to accept what is. Okay. So you have the duck, rubber ducky. So maybe clean it up with the rubber ducky. There's also community is important here for some of you, like coming together, everything coming together and making sense, and there being such a new energy with that, a new playful energy as well. If we get too serious in things, it tends to dampen our imagination, and then when it comes to manifestation and what it is that we want, you know, the possibilities, just like you're blocking yourself off from what's possible. You have the butterfly here, so transformation is important. Growing from an experience, breaking yourself free again. You have the Knight here, which we saw, and you have the Knight of Swords there and here. So I do feel like there's somebody that's going to come in maybe impulsively to speak some sort of truth, perhaps for some of you. If not, could be something that's already happened that you're needing to break yourself free from. Like they spoke their piece, and you have to detach from that and quit being obsessive or thinking about that and move forward. You have a 9 here, which is about wrapping up loose ends. Can also be 6, which is that healing that's here. R and R, rest and relaxation. We have E and B, S and J. So there's not really anything that's here that you can spell. So I'm going to hold these up so y'all can see. Rest is really important here. You know, before you take any kind of actions forward, just kind of take a break, especially if you're closing out a cycle and you're moving forward here, you're healing, you're trying to approach things differently, relationships differently, so that you can trust yourself in the decision that you make and it's not off of impulse, you know, perhaps. Don't make impulsive decisions is what they're saying. If you're starting over, just sit and rest in that, what you now know. Because an opportunity is coming. Clarity and truth are coming. And it's something that you've been waiting for. Something that you thought was done. So, all right. Okay, guys. So I'm going to leave you here. I hope this helps. Good luck to you. I know this one was kind of a lot of different things. So only take what resonates and fits with your situation. Don't try to ever make anything fit. It's probably not your story. It's a general reading. But hopefully this helps in some way, shape, or form for you guys. Good luck, and sending you some love and light. Thank you so much for your love and support and kindness, of course, and I hope to see you guys soon.